afternoon, everyone. Welcome to this video. It is a beautiful afternoon on the 6th of January. It's about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, actually. It's gorgeous outside. We are at Sheppard and Yonge Street. And I am walking northbound on the west side of Yonge. And this video will go to Finch. And then I'm going to pick up again the last part of this video, of today's walking video, from Finch then to Steeles. So I left home at 12:30. It's now 2 o'clock. So I started this walk. I did 2 other walks before this one, up Yonge Street. That's north on Yonge Street. And I was walking primarily on the east side of the street. These next 2 videos will be on the west side of the street. First video was from Lawrence to York Mills, then York Mills to Sheppard, now Sheppard to Finch, and then Finch to Steeles. So thank you very much for joining me. I hope everybody's doing well. It's about -4 out right now. It does feel a little bit warmer than it did when I first left home. Just right now I've noticed it. Maybe because I'm sheltered on both sides by buildings. There was, I think the last 2 videos I was more exposed. There's that one stretch going up to the 401 that is pretty open. There's not a lot of shielding from the elements. Government of Canada building. Yeah, this has changed. This, I remember Sheppard and Yonge, that east, looking south to the east there, that tall building there. That was a different type of building. I mean, it looked different. It looks different now than it did 30 years ago. Yeah, there's been some changes definitely around here. So it looks like more of the changes happened on the east side of the street than on the west side of the street. These buildings have been here like forever. And it sort of looks that way. But hang on a second. I will change that up a bit. Maybe just that section looks a lot newer than its counterpart across the street. Those are older buildings. But looking here now on the east side, these are older buildings. And those condos, at least a couple of those condos I know, and they're about 25 years old. I think the one with the green windows, I don't know if the camera will pick that up. Yeah, because I had a friend that lived in there, and it was pretty new when he moved in. It was probably 25 years ago. 20, 25, 23 years ago, something like that. And I think this new build across the street, you can see they're just getting started. I think that was a like a strip mall kind of shopping area. There were or are some strip mall areas And I think this was one of them that has now come down and rebuilt. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure. I remember coming up here to... There was a doctor's office here I had to come to. And that was... Oh, that would have been 20 years ago, I guess. And I'm pretty sure this is where it was located. It was like, you know, just 1-2-story shops, like in a U shape, and parking in the middle. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what that was. Not that long ago. So now we're in, is this our 5th lockdown? Is it officially called a lockdown? Or is it the 4th? I don't know. You know, the gyms are shut, no indoor dining, no movie theaters. There is, I think, indoor shopping, but I think at 50% capacity. Got new restrictions in place. David and I received our 3rd vaccination about a week or 10 days before Christmas. So we stood in line. So by the time we... Well, let me back up. So we went to get our 3rd shot, and the place that we were getting our shot at was probably about a 10, maybe 15 minute at most, 15-minute drive. So by the time we left home in the car and got home, so if you think about it, 50 minutes there, 15 minutes back, but in total it was 3 hours. So 15 minutes there, waiting in line outside around the building. And then once we got inside, we waited in line yet again. And that was, we didn't have an appointment, so people who did not have an appointment had to line up outside. People who, look at that little dog. It's a cute little Yorkie. Hopefully the camera picked that up. Yeah, so it was, yeah, people who had an appointment, they just had to line up inside. But happy to do it. It was a beautiful day out, and, you know, no winds or nothing cold like that going on. So we were able to comfortably stand outside. That building right there where you can see the black canopies and it's unoccupied. You can maybe also see the notice on the building. I'm not sure if you can see that right across the street there. Anyhow, once upon a time, that used to be a rather bougie furniture store called Barrymore. And that, I don't know if they went out of business or what happened to them, but anyhow, they vacated that premise long ago, long before its current state of being vacant. Something else moved in there, I don't know what, but I remember that used to be Barrymore. Really good quality furniture, but you paid through the nose. Here is the Mel Lastman Square. I think he passed away recently, or is that just my imagination? I remember coming here for a play once, and I also remember coming here for There was a run held up here. This was the start point. I remember all the runners were here and laying on the grass. I remember laying on my back and David helping me stretch, so taking my knee up or my leg up and pushing it towards my head. Jeez, I hated stretching. I still hate stretching. I don't do it at all, and that's not a good thing. Oh, look at this beautiful installation, this beautiful art installation right here on the Meridian. Wow, that is so impressive. I've never noticed that before. Yeah, I don't stretch. I've always, it's been a hate relationship, but it's imperative, especially as I get older, to be more flexible. But, you know, I can't even touch my toes. I never could touch my toes. And it's always been a struggle to stretch. And even now, you know, back in the summer, in the warm weather months when I run, I don't stretch before or after. And that is like one of the worst things to do, is not stretch. Just can't get my head around that. I try and, you know, there is stretching of course involved when I do yoga at home. So that's my saving grace, I guess. Stretch, people, stretch. It'll keep you limber. At least that's what they say. Don't listen to me. Now, across the street there, where it says Added Beauty, I don't know if you can see that. It's a two-story red brick building. I think that used to be a Scotia Bank. Before it became a beauty supply store. I think we just passed a Scotia Bank. Yeah, there's one actually on the same side of the street. Just the camera may not pick it up. It's just down the street. It looks a lot bigger, and it's part of this new build, I guess, corner. Let's see. It says we are here. Yeah, I started way down there, so yeah, we're here. Yeah, so we're here and we're going to Finch. See, there are a few pedestrians out here, but it wasn't that long ago when the van attacks took place in April, like 2 years ago. And it was on this side of Yonge Street, I'm quite sure. use. When I was a lot younger, in the summertime, I worked at a dry cleaner's. And this was back in Calgary. Of course, there's no air conditioning. But I worked at the front desk, you know, taking the clothes in and then giving customers their, you know, dry clean clothes, you know, doing the cash and that kind of thing. But I remember there was a smell, I'll never forget it, of the solution that they used to clean the clothes. And you could tell when, if they hadn't changed the solution often enough. I remember sometimes when I used to have to bag the clothes that were cleaned, I could smell the solution on those clothes. And I remember thinking, gosh, I'd hate to be wearing that item of clothing because it smells like a dry cleaning solution. Day-to-day to be walking, if you're well dressed, of course, because it is a bit cool out. But it's fresh outside, it's comfortable, not too hot, nice day to be out. But I'm well dressed, you know, my ears are covered and I've got the warm winter coat on. I'm not wearing winter boots though, but I am wearing boots. And mitts, scarf. Not a lot of pedestrian traffic on either side of the street. I've noticed that since York Mills. Since before York Mills, actually. I've done 2 other videos, and once I got to the York Mills location, there was hardly any pedestrians. It's just after 2 in the afternoon. So if there were pedestrians, there probably would have been certainly more around lunchtime, I suspect. People are, in fact, working in their non-home offices. And we need to come out to grab lunch. But otherwise, considering the current virus state that we're in right now, more people are probably back at home working. I rarely worked from home. There was the odd time when I had my corporate job that I worked from home. And I relished it. I really did. I relished working from home. So I worked in, when I talk about a corporate job, I used to work in human resources. I was a human resources practitioner. And I did that for probably around 25 years, I guess. And then I quit that 10 years ago, roughly. And then I got into animal care. And did that up until about 3 years ago when I retired. I loved working with animals and finding good homes for them. And some of the colleagues that I worked with, we used to have just so much fun working together. I was the oldest member of that crew, or the second oldest member of that crew, I guess. Majority of the staff were young, 20s and 30s. Yeah, I loved it. And now I volunteer there. I volunteer working with the animals on a socialization capacity, mostly with the animals that are not well socialized. So I spend time socializing with them. Oh, now I'm feeling hot. You know why I'm feeling hot is because there's this part of Yonge Street, there's a bit of an ascent, and I guess I'm working harder. So I'm feeling hotter. Guess it doesn't take much. Yeah, there is. Looking straight ahead here, there's a slight incline there. So I am climbing a bit. The biggest climb would have been from York Mills to where York Mills at Yonge meets the 401, I guess. That's probably the steepest climb of my walks today, concluding at Steeles. This walk will conclude at Finch, and I'm doing this walk today, or these series of walks today, north on Yonge Street, because this month, actually on the 12th of January, I will be celebrating 33 years in our fair city of Toronto. That's more than half my life. And I tell you folks, it has flown by, and it's getting to the point where each year since my retirement, I retired 3 years ago, it's getting, you know, it's moving faster and faster each year. I did this walk, this is before my YouTube channel. I first did this, well, not my first, well, yeah, I guess the first time I the first time I commemorated my anniversary of moving to Toronto was actually 30 years ago, where it was moved here. It was like actually 30 years previously, so that was actually half of my life at that point living in Toronto. And I did the same thing. I walked from home to Steeles because I lived near Steeles when I first moved to Toronto for a short time. And I did that walk. But when I used to train, I used to run up from home. So between Davisville and Eglinton is where I live. I used to run up this stretch of Yonge Street from home to Steeles, and then run around back home. So I just have really good memories of this whole stretch of Yonge Street. I have good memories of all of Yonge Street, from Harbourfront, I guess, or yeah, I guess it would be Harbourfront, I guess, yeah, that's the name of the street down there, and all the way up to Steeles. Never really went north of Steeles on Yonge. Street. And on Saturday, I'm meeting a friend, Catherine. You may remember her from one of my earlier videos back in February. We are meeting at, I think it's Dundas University. I have to check my text message, but we're meeting there on Saturday, and then we're going to walk to Bloor and get a coffee, but we're going to have to drink that coffee outside. Yes, I'll walk from home down to the Eaton Center and then meet Catherine, then walk north again to Bloor. And then after we have our visit, I'll walk home. That'll be another good outing. Sorry for the sniffles, folks. I'm trying to manage them. Already at Finch? Wow. That seemed fast. What time is it? What time is it? Sorry if the camera's going wonky. Yeah, it's about 25 minutes, I guess. 26 minutes. It's gone by quickly. Thank you very much for joining me. This concludes this part of today's video. Thank you so much. I hope you have a great afternoon. And I look forward to seeing you in my next video. This is Boomer Girl Walking, signing off.